Okay, so in this activity, I'll demonstrate how salt affects the boiling point of water. So on the left side, I'll put salt into it, and it'll be a salty water. And on the right side, there'll be no salt put into it, and it'll just be pure water. And you're going to see that the water is going to boil more faster in this water than this water. So now let me So now I'll turn the oven on high for each one, and they'll be at the same temperature. Let's do it for the time. And this is the time we're going to start from. So we're about 4 minutes into the boiling, and we can see that the salty water hasn't even began to smoke or make bubbles yet, but the water without salt is beginning to make smoke and have bubbles and is on the point of boiling. So we can see in this demonstration that salt raises the boiling point of the water, and that without salt the boiling point will be lower and it'll be much quicker than with salt. So now we're about 7 minutes into the process, and the water without salt is beginning to boil and steam very rapidly, but the water with salt has not begun to do anything yet. So now we will begin the egg test, and we will see the effects of the water without salt on the egg and with the water with salt. So I'll first put the egg into the water with salt. And now I will put the egg into the boiling pot. And I will let it cook for about 6 minutes, and I'll return with the results. So now it has been 6 to 7 minutes, and I'm going to stop the hot stove and take the eggs out and see what effect having salt in the water and not having salt in the water had on the eggs. So now I'm letting it cool down for a couple seconds. Then I'll take the hot one out and put it in the red cup or a red plate first. And I'll take the cold one and put in the blue plate. So the one on the left was in the salty water, and the one on the right was in the pure water with no salt. And now I will get a knife and compare the eggs. So the first egg we'll check was the one that was in the salt water, and we'll see what effect that the salt in the water had on the egg. So as you can see, the egg did not cook at all, and it is in very terrible shape. This is not good to eat at all, and the thing just fell out like it was right. And now we will cut the second egg, and this was the one that was boiled in pure water. And as you can see, it's a little hot. So as you can see, the egg was boiled better than the first one. And this is, although it was not cooked perfectly, this is somewhat edible on the outside. So now that you see the difference between boiling eggs and in salt water and in regular pure water that's boiled. Now we will see firsthand how salt lowers the freezing point of water. In each of these containers, there are about 10 milliliters of water. And on the right one, I will put salt. And on the left one, it'll just be pure plain water. So now we can see that the water is salty. And in about 15 minutes, I'll take the containers out of the freezer and see how they do. So as seen, the water has had a lot of time to freeze, and we'll see the effects that salt has on the water when it is freezing. So on the left side again, it is the salt, and on the right side is the pure water. So as seen, the salt water is still a little watery. You can still see a little water inside of it, and also you can still see a couple drops of water inside of this one also. Now I would check upon this in a couple of minutes. So we are a couple of minutes into the process, and you see that the salt water is starting to loosen up a little. The ice is completely broken, and there's waters all around the big ice cube in the middle. And on this one, it is similar sources, but the ice cube is still steady on the ground. It is not movable yet. So now you can see that the salt water is basically all melted except the small little tiny ice particle inside of it. And the pure water has a chocolate ice at the bottom. So we can tell by this activity that the salt water lowers the freezing point, or salt lowers the freezing point of water. And this is shown as it melts faster in salt water rather than regular pure water. Thank you.